Williams lead the Bears to the playoffs this year?
I'm going to say yes. I'm optimistic on Caleb Williams and the Bears. Remember, this is a team that got to 7 wins last year in what looked like a lost season by playing as well over the second half of the season as any team in the league. They add Caleb Williams. The conversations I'm having there, I think they're extremely happy and optimistic based on what they've seen from Caleb Williams this spring, the way he's picked up the offense. If that continues through training camp, I think he's got a chance to play really well right out of the gate.
Will, you agree with that?
Yeah, listen, I love what the Bears have done this offseason. I'm going to say they're going to miss it. I like 2 other teams in the division, the Lions and the Packers. But listen, I think the biggest question I have with the Bears, can they carry over what they did on defense last year? We know that over their last 8 games, they had the #1 scoring defense. Mm-hmm. Can they continue this in 2024 is my big question.
But the big thing is this. It's not necessarily about how good the Bears will be. It's knowing that you have the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions in your division. Mm-hmm. This puts them in that place that the Pittsburgh Steelers are normally in, where there's 2 big-time teams in the division, and they're hovering around 500. So it does make you wonder, can they take the next step with all that Ryan Poles has done in this offseason? D. Wood, let's go down.
Okay. So this question just keeps being asked again and again and again. And that's how you know we're still in June, because there's just not enough stories to go around for whether it's ESPN, FS1, YouTube, wherever. So I guess I'll keep answering this question again and again as well, because it's also always interesting to see the different commentators give different answers depending on who they're asking this question at the time, right? You have Nick Wright, who says the Chicago Bears are going to go to the Super Bowl. And then you have Damian Woody say, no, they're not even going to make the playoffs. So I do find it interesting to kind of get a feel for who, what everyone thinks about, at least the public faces in sports media. I'm on the record from the very beginning saying that I think that they definitely will make the playoffs. I agree. The NFC North is an absolute gauntlet. And like I keep saying, I'm so excited because it's for years to come. It's going to be can't miss TV. Who's going to want to not watch the Packers versus the Bears versus the Lions versus the Packers? It's just going to be so exciting. And then Minnesota's coming. They're not there just yet, but they will be. They will be. And you're going to have 4 teams that are going to be, it's just going to be ruthless. So it does technically make it harder to make the playoffs because you can't rack up wins. We know how much of a luxury it is for Patrick Mahomes to beat up on the Chargers and the Raiders and the Broncos. And the same thing for Patrick Mahomes for all those years. Tom Brady for all those years, beating up on the Dolphins and the Bills and the Jets. Like it really, really helps when you have a weaker division. The Eagles and the Cowboys have been able to beat up on the Giants and the Commanders for like the last decade or so. And it just matters. So it will be a harder path for the Chicago Bears, but I think that they're top 7. That's all it needs to be. You just need to be top 7. And I think that's what the Bears will be. I think you're going to have all of these teams make the playoffs. And I think some of these teams that will not make the playoffs that may surprise some people are going to be, Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Dallas Cowboys. Like I'm confused when they say, I don't think the Bears are going to make the playoffs. Who do they think is getting in the playoffs over the Bears? The Seattle Seahawks? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers? The Saints? The Carolina Panthers? Like, I don't get who they're saying, because we can still pick some of these more blue blood teams that we think are going to maybe win the division. I know if you're a Chicago Bears fan and watching this, let's just say the Detroit Lions win the division again. And the 49ers win, and it's a toss-up between the Eagles and the Cowboys, and let's say the Falcons win. Those teams, those 4 teams, like, where are those other 3 teams coming from then? Like, who's better? Who's going to be better than the Bears? What quarterback is going to be better than Caleb Williams? I understand he's a rookie, but I better believe that he's not going to be this just like complete lost scrub out there. Like, to me, this team is built where even if you want to entertain the idea of Caleb Williams not being a generational talent and not being this all-time great player, let's just say that that's true, which again, I disagree with, but let's just say that that's true. All he does is have to be as equal or slightly better than Justin Fields has been and the Bears make the playoffs. That's all you need. You just need a more competent, more controlled quarterback who can also put the team on his back when need be, and you're going to win. If they've been able to do what they've been able to do with Justin Fields, yes, unless you're a Chicago Bears fan and you just truly believe that Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Caleb Williams, I don't really know what to tell you because I just wholeheartedly disagree with that. And I think Caleb Williams will be an entire tier higher his rookie year than Justin Fields is right now. And that alone should put the Chicago Bears in the playoffs. Now, listen, they could end up just missing because of the way this division is and because of it's so competitive. But I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, even if the Chicago Bears just split with the Lions and the Packers, that puts all three of them on equal footing, really. I mean, they all should be beating up each other. It's not hard to imagine that they each all go 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. I mean, outside of, let's say, one of these teams just running away with it and going 2-0 versus everyone, otherwise it's going to be on equal footing. So I just think that it's going to be a great season, and I think Caleb Williams and the team that he has around him, despite it being arguably the hardest division in football right now, I just think that Caleb Williams, especially in the NFC, and the Bears are in a position to be one of the best 7 teams, and therefore you are now in the playoffs. So I'm really excited for this, and I think the Chicago Bears will prove a lot of people wrong, and I think Caleb Williams will prove a lot of people wrong. I think it's so interesting to still see some of this hesitant or hate towards Caleb, and I think I know what it is. I was thinking about this earlier today. LeBron James went through a similar thing. LeBron James picked up a lot of haters from day one, from before he ever stepped foot onto the court. And it's because he was being crowned as the next Michael Jordan, that he was going to be better than Michael Jordan. And a lot of people took issue with that. Even people who barely even knew who Michael Jordan was or really was able to experience Michael Jordan's greatness. You know, just younger kids at the time when LeBron went in, when some of the fans were maybe 13, 14, 15, right? They didn't really grow up with Jordan, but Jordan was still that icon. And when they hear this guy is going to be better than him, your initial thoughts are, but he hasn't done anything yet. And we live in such a world, especially a country, where we feel like we've earned every little thing. Like in my life, very few things have been given to me. And I'm sure in a lot of your lives, very few things have been given to you. Whether you're working a humble job making $50,000, $60,000 a year, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a construction worker, whether you're a surgeon making $500,000 a year, I'm sure you probably had the feeling of you've had to work really, really hard to get somewhere. And so when we see another player or someone else in life just given something, not to say that Caleb Williams isn't working hard, but he's being given the crown of this generational talent, of this next big thing. And you're automatically like, well, wait a second. He hasn't done anything. And then so now there's that overcompensation of saying he's going to be a bust. He's a scrub. He's not good. And you may even experience this even in your own job, depending on what type of job you do. When you have a new employee or a younger employee, or, you know, someone gets promoted and you're just like, that guy didn't do enough. What's going on here? Is it nepotism? Or you hire someone new and you hear like, oh, this guy went to Harvard, or this guy, you know, worked with so-and-so. And it's like, okay, what the heck does that mean? Like, we live in a world where we always want to be proven something and not just being told this person's amazing and because I told you. And I think that's where a lot of the hate for Caleb Williams gets. But I think it's unfounded in a lot of ways, quite honestly. So I think the Chicago Bears are in a great position, and I think it's going to be a wildly exciting season. And I look forward to answering this question again, probably in another week or two, because we really need preseason to start. We need hard knocks. We need something, because I don't know how many times we can ask the same question. How good will Caleb Williams be with the Chicago Bears? The answer is they're going to be pretty darn good. That is the answer. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Caleb Williams will lead the Bears to the playoffs in his rookie season? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.